Barney, I Can Do It is all about celebrating the things that you can do instead of thinking that you'll be able to do things one day when you grow up. Kind of a little bit carpe diem there as well. Don't wait for tomorrow. Let's see what you can do today. For me personally, this is not a very nostalgic episode of Barney, or special rather. It was released in 2011. And for me, the music in Barney is what's most nostalgic. And apart from a couple of songs, most of them I didn't recognize, but I do think the messages in this are pretty brilliant. The main narrative involves BJ being quite upset because he hasn't grown any new spots on his tail. And when he gets a new spot, it's a sign that he's physically growing. And he says to Barney he wishes he would grow so that he can do other things. But Barney explains to BJ, you don't necessarily need to wait until you grow to try new things, because you might be able to do something now, even if you physically don't think you've grown. And it cuts to various clips from previous episodes focusing on things that children can do, songs about growing, and it really helps to celebrate both the brilliance of growing up and what that can be like, but also the fact that even though you want to grow up and do other things, it's important to acknowledge the things that you can do now and celebrate those. And I think that that's such a wonderful message, not just for children, but for all of us. I think I speak for most people when I say we're always in a hurry to get to the next thing, but to actually stop and appreciate what we have now or what we can do now is always something that I think most of us can do well to remember. So actually the message is pretty great for adults as well. As I said, not very nostalgic for me, but we did have a couple of good songs. The one that I was waiting for is Growing, because the characters kept saying lines from that song and I was waiting for them to get to it. It took a little while. They also have the alphabet song, which is obviously always great fun, and a couple of others. As I said, most of the songs I didn't recognize, so it wasn't very nostalgic for me, but I do really appreciate the really brilliant messages we have here. Also very well edited. What they've started doing with some of the specials from around this time is framing the clips slightly differently, so you can tell very clearly which clips are from previous episodes rather than the fresh clips, such as the clips between Barney and BJ and the two kids here. And I think that works quite well. I think it's a nice touch and also adds a pop of colour to either side of the screen as well. Barney, I Can Do It has some great messages, some good songs. I mean, even the songs I didn't know were still pretty catchy, and I think some really good dance moves and things that I could definitely see myself as a young child getting up and trying to copy as well. All things considered, while it may not have been very nostalgic to me, Barney, I Can Do It is pretty great.